home of the North Pole, where families have come for years to meet Santa and enjoy the magic of Christmas at the foot of Pikes Peak. But now a variant is threatening to silence this winter wonderland.
I like being here because it's the funnest place.
For 64 years, Santa's Workshop has stood here, a special place in the heart of Coloradans. Tom Haggard, owner of Santa's Workshop North Pole, spent his morning breaking the news to people coming to enjoy his park. They're closed after a variance approved last night states that with the high volume of high-touch surfaces such as park rides and the likelihood of constant mingling of non-household contacts throughout the park, they can't approve any requests for amusement parks.
How exactly is our park different from the adventure parks and all the other various businesses are allowed to reopen?
Haggard says the park submitted their plans for safe operation a few weeks ago. He says they've been following the social distancing guidelines and safety measures to open and should be able to reopen, especially since parks similar to theirs have been able to operate.
The standard that they are applying to amusement parks is not being applied to all the other businesses in the state. The idea of constant mingling of non-household contacts is occurring at zoos, Royal Gorge, other parks, and not being applied the same way it's being applied to us.
Today would have been Kyle Gerber's first time at the park. He says the state needs to stop changing the guidelines on reopening.
These guys are trying their best to live within the guidelines, and if the post keeps getting moved, it's going to hurt them because they're reopening and closing, reopening and closing. I don't know the financial effect that has on them, but I'm sure it's not good. So it's just going to end up hurting them in the end.
Keith Simpson with El Paso County Health says this new variance is a combination of two that were approved at the same time. He says he's working to get answers for businesses like Santa's Workshop.
Well, we have worked very closely with that facility through this process, through the variance process, and through preparing for the variance that if it was approved, we had already worked with them on developing a safety plan for their facility that was in line with what the variance had requested. So if it was approved, that would already be done. Now, obviously, because of the way the variance came back, we're no longer able to do that, but we are seeking clarification from the State Health Department on what that actually means, and we will continue to work with the facility as we get new information.
Santa's Workshop plans on going to the El Paso County Health Department to discuss what they need to do in order to reopen. Always watching out for you, Southern Colorado. Mayo Davison, News 5.